I've been playing Zenless Zone Zero, which is the new game from previously MiHoYo. I think they're now HoYoverse. Whatever. They've called themselves two different things. And it is an action role-playing game. It is the next one of these gacha games from MiHoYo. You know, you probably know them from Genshin Impact or more recently Honkai Star Rail. They are out with their new title, which, as I mentioned, Zenless Zone Zero. It's got a few different elements to it, mainly an action role-playing game, but there are bits of Persona style, roaming around, dialogue, hanging out with people type situation, and also a little bit of puzzle stuff. You play as either a boy or a girl. I chose the girl because I am one, and I wanted to be her. And they're called proxies, which are basically people that help agents explore these hostile alternate dimensions set in a digital world called Hollows. And it's also the main world is set in, I think it's called New Eridu, and it's called New Eridu. I think it was called Eridu beforehand, but it's called New Eridu because it's a kind of a bastion that's been created by survivors of this like post-apocalyptic world. Cool. And after the humanity was very much mostly wiped out by an enemy body called the Ethereal. And so now it's your job to fight off the Ethereal inside the Hollows with the help of agents. And so in classic MiHoYo form, the agents are people that you add to your team, either through playing the game, you collect them as the story goes on, or through the gacha system. And it's kind of the big thing that people aren't a huge fan of when it comes to these games, because it is obviously free to play, but then you do have the option of putting as much money as you want to get your pretty anime girls. Right. And so gameplay kind of consists of three separate areas. As I mentioned before, you've got the persona-like dialogues here and there. You have these hangouts that you do with agents and to build your relationship between you and them. And I haven't gotten that far to start having those hangouts, but if I'm fairly certain your relationship improving makes them better in combat. I might be wrong. Call me out. Whatever.
But the combat is the crux of the rest of the game?
Yeah. The combat happens within the Hollows. Yep. Because the way the Hollows work is it's kind of like hacking a computer, and you've got like a little map that your bunny characters, I think they're called bangboos, your bunny character goes through, and certain areas of those little puzzle maps are enemy areas.
So
and once you
say puzzle map, are they like linear run sections, or is it
it's like
semi-open world?
No, it's literally on a screen. With like different it's a grid.
You're clearing a grid as opposed to it being open world like Genshin Impact.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
You're clearing a grid, and then on those grids there are boxes that are enemy encounters. Sometimes you can avoid them. Most of the time you just go into them, and then in those enemy encounters, that's where you do your combat.
This all sounds
in a mini arena kind
way more palatable than Genshin Impact to me.
It is.
Like just taking things bite-size, as opposed to being this crazy open world that I just don't have the time to like dive
There's a lot
into.
of fat of traversal in those in Genshin Impact of just like move from A to B, B to C. Whereas this, I'm assuming in that Persona style, it's like it's moving you through social areas, and then when you're doing combat, it's like now you're in the combat space doing this grid thing. Now you're back to here. It's like
exactly.
I guess that would be a bit.
It also looks fucking cool.
Okay.
I did not expect to like anything that you were about to say, and I like all of it so far.
My personal experience with this game is visually. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I think the word you're looking for is
wah.
Okay.
Wah. But oh my god, the character designs are just beautiful. Every single character I've come across in this game has been visually delightful. The world itself, the little like city you're in, Kind
it's a
of
stylish dystopia.
Oh my
like,
God,
it's everything
yeah.
looks cool and colorful and
Yeah.
funky, even though it's the end of whatever
Yeah,
weird.
it looks very downtown Japan.
Yep,
Like
yep.
it kind of felt like walking around. It feels like Persona. It feels so
It's
much
that
like
Shibuya
Persona.
style,
It's so
high
cool.
fashion.
And
kind
every
of, yeah.
character, what MiHoYo is very, very good at is making visually distinct characters. And of course, it's because they want you to freaking spend a lot of money in that gacha system to get your favorite ones. So they all look incredible. Like, it is just so striking because like they've still got that anime style that you saw in Genshin and you saw in Honkai. You saw in Honkai Star Rail, but they've really perfected it here. It feels a lot more It feels a lot more. I was about to say stylized, but it feels a lot more stylish.
Like they've ironed out like the style that they like.
Yeah.
There's elements of that sort of anime look that they like with their own branding. Quickly, can we walk back to the combat stuff of like the moment to moment gameplay when you're through this stuff is like hack and slashy.
Feels good.
I was gonna say, like,
it's hack and slashy. So sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
that's what I wanted.
But in these like combat sequences, which are a part of the commissions that you do, you can take 3 of your characters with you.
Yep.
And throughout the gameplay, like throughout the combat, you are constantly switching between those 3.
Because that was the thing that I got up to in Genshin Impact before I fell off it, which is like, I have interchangeable protagonists that I was swapping out constantly.
I found that they didn't perfect it in Genshin.
Yeah.
That the wipeout screen.
That's so fucking
oh
cool,
my god,
man.
the wipeout screen
Yeah.
is
I wanna see
crazy.
I actually just really
again.
love all the effects surrounding the combat as
It's
well.
so cool. It's like it's very Persona. It's very Jet Set Radio. Like it's just sick. It's very Gurren Lagann. Like there's so many different parts of this, like artistically, that just look incredible.
But also the way the stuttery nature of that is that really super satisfying thing in games when a hit detection is also accented with those little pauses of doosh, 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 you're doing damage.
yeah.
Like you can see it build, and again, like it definitely feels like it's not an afterthought to it.
Totally.
Is it enough that it's like it's dragging you back to do those runs
my
and feeling
God.
satisfying? Crap.
I'd say the
I'm
best
worried.
part of this game is its combat system.
Yeah, right.
Because every character that you have has a different like weapon, different move sets, stuff like that. The way that they've integrated having the 3 characters in each run and you switching between them while you're fighting is unlike anything I've experienced. It's so well done because there are you know how like when you're doing a hack and slash, like enemies will have like a ding, and then with that ding, you know to block, or you know to parry.
Yep.
There's a part of this where it has that ding, but instead of blocking or parrying, which you can still do, you can switch your character in that moment, and it'll give
that's
them a
cool.
special move which will hit
Switch.
harder.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh my
Sick.
god, it feels incredible.
It looks.
Yeah.
I mean, the animations are all fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It looks like those like tag fighters as well. When you're
Yeah.
swapping characters out, got that same energy, but just so
It's so
stylish.
smooth. It's
It
so
freezes the action, but everything keeps moving, sound design and visually, so you feel like you're building up to like what feels like solid thwacks and punches, which has got to be a big part of
And
this.
it's crazy. Like all of this is amazing, and it's been called out in chat as well. But the fact that this is Android and iOS, and it's going to be their largest install base,
Yeah.
like it'll be bigger than PC for sure, is like it's amazing how good the Hoyoverse team have gotten at making games that look like this, and obviously they'll look a little worse on your phone.
Oh, well, that's
but-
the thing. I've been playing it on PlayStation 5. That's the
Yep.
main system that I've been playing it on. But I did also decide to open it up on my Android. I've got a Samsung Galaxy Note 20. That shit's
It's a few
old.
years old, yeah.
Right? It's struggling to open up Messenger. So I was like, it will not be working on this phone.
Yeah.
Wrong. It doesn't look as good as the PS5, obviously. And there's a little bit of stuttering, but like I'm still able to complete a battle on my phone.
And is
which
it it's crossplay?
and
like
I'm pretty sure it's crossplay. I think you
okay.
can link
so
them
I
together.
can just like play on my PS5 and then get on
I
a train
think
and
so.
play on my phone.
I'm
I believe
90%
your account is attached to.
I
your
did that with Genshin Impact to see if that would work, and what it did, and it pretty seamlessly carried my save across. What would be interesting, I think, about this is that there seems to be a bit of more of that less visually impactful management and downtime kind of stuff. So there's a world in which you do your runs, and is there a lot of time spent doing the story, the relationships, again, or have you not really dabbled as much?
So I haven't done I haven't gotten far enough to start doing the relationship stuff, but I have been, there's been cutscenes, there's been dialogue. As you can see, there's a lot of still image kind of dialogue stuff. They do it almost in like a comic book kind of way, which is really, really cool. It's all fully voice acted as well. But then there are dialogue moments between characters. They drag on.
Well, see, this thing though, they drag on, but they kill a bus ride. When you if you switch to your phone, you go, I've finished all the combat. I'm now going to sit on my phone and do all the story and like go through my inventory.
And I just skip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good that you can if you can read quick, then you can just skip through all that
Is
dialogue.
this the grid we're looking at?
Yes,
That's
this is
fucking
what
so
the
cool.
grid.
So
This is
cool.
what the grid system looks like. You see
Amazing.
the bunny on the left.
Yeah, yeah.
You move up and around.
Holy shit,
the grid.
that looks satisfying.
It is fantastic. It is
This is
fan
wild.
freaking tastic.
That is really
It
satisfying.
feels
damn.
awesome.
It
And
looks
see,
like a poker
that,
machine.
That
I was
little,
gonna say.
that little
Really got that
evil
effect.
guy, that little evil guy that you see on the TV, that's you entering a combat area.
Oh, don't get me wrong. None of this story does anything for you describing that at the top was like a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat of like. But I'm like, is this the kind of game that you could kind of check in and out of the story and be like, I like the moment to moment gameplay. I like the gacha element as well.
Yeah. There's also
that's
one
window dressing kind of.
There's one character that's literally a bear.
I mean, there
Like
always
he's
is,
literally a
isn't there?
bear.
Yeah.
No. He's not like a bear.
He's
He's literally a bear.
No, I know. Like Danganronpa and all that. It's
Yeah,
like
there's always a bear.
This
Yeah.
does
There
not
is always a
surprise
He's
me.
literally
Yeah.
a bear. But there's also like a wolf man who's definitely very popular with the furries.
Okay.
But I do want to make a note of like the characters and in leading on to
I do
the
want to say I am
characters.
not a furry.
I am not a furry. All respect to my furries, but I am not one. Yeah. The
gacha
thing
element.
is, there is always the gacha element. And like, I think if I just didn't talk about it, it wouldn't feel right.
Quick explain
And
it for anyone who doesn't quite know. It's basically kind
gacha
of
is, so, Zenless Zone Zero is free to play. And in being free to play, the way that they make money, the way that MiHoYo has basically always made money by having these free to play games is having Gachapon, which is the mystery grab
blind bagging.
blind box. It's a freaking blind box.
Loot box is what
It's
we westernized them
Yeah,
as. But
yeah, it's a-
the gacha machines are like vending machines where you put money and you get
Capsule
a ball and you get a
toys.
capsule. Yeah.
It's very
Lebanon's
it's-
toys, I call them.
and that's how they do their business, because in order to get new characters, you got to do this gacha system. And with the gacha system, more often than not, when you're doing these roles, you aren't always getting a character. You definitely aren't always getting the character you want. You're getting stuff that you can use in the game, but you want a character. You want the character that you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you feeling like you're still like having a satisfying enough experience without needing to
the basics.
participate in that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
The thing
yeah.
is, and it's like this gacha system, as Serpent said, it's gambling for kids. And I think I'm of the opinion, as somebody who has spent a lot of money in free to play games previously, Kim Kardashian Hollywood up.
Yeah.
Bless you.
I made an active thank you. I made an active effort in playing MiHoYo games to not spend any money for as long as I could, and I never did. I never did because I really, really didn't want to, because I know how I am and I know how hear me out. I know how I'd start.
You break
So-
that seal and then it's
Once
just
you break that
done.
seal and then
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I didn't spend any money in Genshin Impact. I didn't spend any in Honkai Star Rail. That being said, I played Genshin for a lot longer. And I haven't played any money in Zenless Zone Zero. I don't plan to, purely because at this current moment in time, a thing that MiHoYo does, and maybe it's to trick your brain, is it kind of rewards you just for everything. It rewards you for taking part in events. It rewards you for logging in. It
Never
rewards
get
you
menus,
for
and it's like, well done. Here's some
exactly. You read a single bit of dialogue. Congratulations. Here's some stuff. And also, you can go online and get redemption codes from whatever article you can find, and put those in, and then you get extra stuff from that. I found just from playing the game, one, I can get pretty cool characters, and two, I can accumulate enough of that currency that you need to do gacha rolls, to do as many gacha rolls as I would like to do. And I also am of the opinion of you get what you get and you don't get upset. I think all of the characters in this game look cool enough that I'm pretty happy with any of the ones I get.
Well, that leads me to my question, which was that, and again, we don't have to go on because it's a complicated system, but unlike loot boxes and what we traditionally see in a lot of games, it's usually cosmetics, it's usually things at a surface level. The idea with gacha games or with the Hoyoverse, it's like often it is to do with a complete character. That character will have abilities, movement, different outfits, and also play into the story, or could play into the story, maybe not.
I think all of the characters, at least what I experienced in Genshin, every single character that you were able to play eventually did appear in the game's story.
Yeah.
I don't think they were always unlockable through the story, but they did appear.
My point being is it's a bit more substantive, so there is more of a draw for people to want these things that they can't have. It's not like, oh, I don't have that hat. It's like there's a whole character and a whole new sort of maybe style of play. And while that's not pay to win or anything, it's definitely more enticing, and it feels like part of the game I'm not getting.
Yeah.
And so I think, while I agree entirely with what you're saying, I think the idea that there is designed elements of characters of games of the game I'm not getting until I do that. I think that's the difference mainly with the gacha style, and take of that what you will. Like,
totally.
I think, that's some people feel differently, but you can, as you said, grind enough to get roles that you could potentially be still getting these characters.
Yeah.
So
And
I imagine that grind is on a scale.
Something I found is really good with this game that I might be wrong, but I didn't see in Genshin Impact is when you do go into that gacha system, it actually tells you how many roles you need to do until you'll get until you'll definitely 100% get an S tier character in your role.
Interesting.
So like, the random number generator's still there, but it makes it kind of rewards you for continuing to
Puts a
do the
cap on
roles.
it?
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's
it lets you know
confident
that
enough
it
to
is.
show you the odds you're not
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I can only
that
really
may be a legal thing.
Yeah, I think it
Steam
is.
definitely started doing that. Well, Valve started doing it in Valve games. Dota had loot boxes, and now you can hold Alt and you can see your chance of getting the thing that you're rolling for.
Yeah. I think they have to be like,
I don't know if there's some
these are your
legislation
chances.
somewhere. Yeah.
But I can only speak from personal experience of I don't plan to spend any money in this game. I really like the characters I've got right now.
I'd like you to report back to us in a few weeks.
No,
I try. Yeah.
It's like being aware of an addiction that you've had in the past and making an active effort to expose yourself to it, but not take it in. You know what I mean?
It seems like if the game has earned enough goodwill and the rest of it, that you're respecting that and not feeling the need to dive in there. That sometimes goes in the other way, where you go, this game has given me so much entertainment, maybe I will put a little in there. So I'm curious to know if you keep playing this. I'm not saying predatory, you'll succumb eventually, but maybe you'll go like, this is such a great game, I'm into that.
Totally. And I watched a video.
Invest.
I watched a video review.
Who am I, Josh, talking about Star Citizen? Invest now while it's hot.
I will say, I watched a video review of Zenless Zone Zero that Skill Up reviewer and editor and friend of the show, Austin, did. And a great point he made was that it's a really, really great game that is buggered down by a shitty game system, which is the gacha system. In a perfect world, and a world that I want, I would love to pay full price for this game and be able to unlock every single character through playing the story.
It's randomly priced DLC, right?
Yeah,
Like
literally.
It's like I could pay $1 and get the S tier character, and you could pay $100 and not get them until
I would
until
love-
every
not get it.
possible role.
I would happily. This is the sort of game that to me is so good. I would happily pay full price for this game and really enjoy myself and unlock all the characters over time. But with the way that I have been playing MiHoYo games in the past, I am fine with it existing as a free to play game for me because I know I can control myself when it comes to that. But I'm also very aware that the system itself is predatory.
Yeah.
But also for me, it's like you get what you get and you don't get upset. And all my
Totally.
characters are really cute.
And
so
my
I'm
opinion
fine.
has always been, if they're old enough to work in the mines, they're old enough to gamble.
Yeah, and they have
So
to do something
true.
with the downtime.
Yeah,
So
and they're
true.
making a
We
lot
should
of money
give them
in the
less
mines.
downtime.
Yeah.